preliminary rapid fire evaluation portion of our meeting, led by our general evaluator / filmmaker, Aaron Kelton.
All right, typically evaluations are 3 minutes. We're going to try to keep them at 2 minutes maximum. For those of you that don't know, maybe returning guests, this is where we get feedback so we can improve ourselves, which is why we're all here. I'm going to mix it up and start with Wilma evaluating our speech number 2. We're going to save Dion for last. So, is Wilma...
Okay, so for Wilma...
Thank you, Will, minus the ma. Sagar, speech number 3, could you please start?
Speech number 3, actually I was evaluating Ruth. So I can already have the sessions on him, so I don't want to make more sessions on him. That's about it. Was there some miscommunication going?
That's what.
Can you impromptu evaluate Stella's?
Okay.
Excellent. So now that our speech evaluations and the grammarian all-counter and timers report has been taken care of, I'm going to make some comments on the general, as my title would imply, general evaluator, how the meeting went in general. First off, when we got here, the doors were locked. I don't think we got in here until 6:15 to set up. So as Sergeant-at-Arms, I need to make sure that these doors are unlocked when we get here. So that's my promise to you, that I will find out how they know who's going to be here so we can have the doors unlocked and have plenty of time to set up for our meeting well in advance. I'm going to have to get with Will Atkins on the scheduling conflict. I noticed that we typically try to have 3 speeches, and that's so everyone can progress rapidly in their CO and their CC manual. But if something's 10 to 12 minutes, as Stella's speech was, which is not a problem, we just need to know that in advance, and maybe we'll have to cut back. And so I guess whenever we're preparing the roles a month ahead, we'll need to see who's giving speeches and what time frame they need so we can alter those agendas to be 2 or 3 speeches. And then deviating from manual time. I noticed, Ruth, when I got on the website today, you had your speech, which was the communicator manual, how to say it, which is scheduled for 5 to 7, but you bumped it up to 7 to 9. I think it's important that if indeed you need those 2 more minutes, that we get together ahead of time so that we know how to make that alteration. Otherwise, I know we always think we have wonderful things to say. I need to shut up myself, but as long as we can use that constraint to our advantage, right? Because as you're constrained, you have to work within that time frame. It makes it harder, and I think it'll make you a better speaker because of that. So if you do need it in the future to alter your time, other than what the manual suggests, the 5 to 7 minutes for the CC manual, then you just let the VP of Education or the Toastmaster, whoever it may be for that week, know so that we can take care of that well in advance. And then you might have noticed we had a little bit of a technical difficulty earlier. One thing I would ask is, if you need the projector, tell me as your Sergeant-at-Arms well in advance so that I can have this here and ready. We can work through the technical difficulties. And especially if you have a Mac or something. Any Apple product, because Windows, they're just going to fly brilliantly, all these projectors. If you have a Macintosh or an Apple, anything like that.
It's bleeding.
So just make sure it's done well in advance. And then finally, the timer. Nisha, give us a buzz, will you? Give us a buzz right there. Excellent. All right. One thing is that we're running short on time. We wrapped up the evaluations pretty good, and actually ahead of schedule right now. So I'm just going to blab a little bit. I have an aptitude for that. But as soon as you see that green and yellow start wrapping it up, I know we think we have great things that need to be said, and we do. But you're robbing from yourself by not adapting and adjusting to the situation, because this is what real life is going to present to you when you're trying to sell a product, you're talking to somebody in business or in personal, giving a toast at a wedding or something. If you're making the corniest jokes and somebody's telling you to wrap it up, you've got to adjust and say something meaningful from the heart in that type of situation. So pay attention to that. Don't rob yourself, and don't rob from the other people who have to make adjustments to their roles as well. And now I'd like to business? To our Madam President.